What is up, everybody? We're back with the 5th episode of the Greening Out Gridiron podcast. Today we're in my basement. Got some new friends here with us today. We got Jay over here. Say hi, Jay.
What's good?
We got Walsh over there. Say what's up, Walsh.
What's up,
We got Chris over here. Say what's up, Chris.
What's up?
And we're going to be talking about some fantasy football today. Going into it, we're going to be talking about the top 10 players at each position, and we're going to have a little conversation about it. So we got, I think one of you is going to start out giving us quarterback.
Yeah, me and Walsh both made top 10s for all our positions, and we're going to just go through some of those.
Yeah, you want me to start off?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, let's start with the running backs here. So I got number 1, I got Zeke Elliott.
Same
At
here.
one? Okay.
At one.
Okay. Interesting.
All
Interesting.
right. I mean, this is a controversial list, you know.
Yeah, okay.
2, I got Saquon.
Saquon at 2.
Everybody calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. I thought
Yeah.
Saquon would be at 1.
No.
What do you think about Saquon this year?
He should be the number 1 drafted running back.
I think so as well.
Absolutely.
I think he should be
think he
the
should
number
be
1
as well.
pick in any fantasy football
I
draft.
think he should.
no
as well.
matter.
I've been
I think
saying
he's
it.
a
I
very
think
worthy
he
PPR.
has the ability to score at any moment of the game.
Name another guy in that offense who can do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's
They
bad
traded-
for the offense
they
as a
tr-
whole.
Nah, they traded OBJ, and like the only playmaker they have left is like
I don't like
kinda Evan
arguments like
Ingram
that, though.
and then Saquon.
Yeah,
Saquon's
so
just gonna get.
the defense
entire
doesn't
game.
have to prepare for OBJ making miraculous catches. They just have to focus on the run game, and if they stop the run game, they stop the Giants.
Yeah, but you thought they would have done that last year.
Yeah,
too,
but-
when they
Well, they had
worked
OBJ.
Saquon into the ground.
They
OBJ
can't-
was a star already.
Yeah, but OBJ didn't do anything.
They didn't have a line. They didn't have a line.
They
last
still
year.
don't have a
And
line.
Exactly.
Saquon was still a beast. They couldn't stop
Eli-
him, even when they stacked the box and tried to stop him. He still ran around.
Eli couldn't
all
do
No,
over
it.
he would just,
everybody.
he would go on. He would break off for long runs. He's at number 2. Like he's
Oh, yeah.
comparable.
He's my
to
third
Zeke.
back, and I love him.
But Zeke, just
Who's
the
your
way
third?
that
Saquon,
Really? Who's
Yeah.
your number 2?
Christian McCaffrey,
Really?
What?
You have CMC over
I have Zeke,
Saquon.
CMC, Saquon,
I'm gonna say very.
and I think they're
controversial.
all. I think the top 3 is just.
yeah.
They're
think-
all just deserving of a
I
number
see
one
him
pick.
at 3.
I think the top 4 guy. You can argue Kamara could be a 1
Kamara is.
pick.
I think he's just a hair off of that.
I still think
Yeah,
that the
Kamara-
argument's
Kamara
there.
at 4
I
too.
still think the argument's there that you could say
I-
Kamara.
No, well, he doesn't have Ingram anymore, so he's gonna have
The volume.
he's
So I
gonna
think-
have the volume.
No, they-
but
They
signed
got
someone.
Latavius Murray.
Yeah, they signed
They got
Latavius Murray.
Latavius.
He'll get. I don't think he'll get as much work
I don't
as
think-
Ingram did, but
I
I think he'll
I
still
think
get
he
a
could
significant
possibly get
amount.
more. The Saints like have notoriously
More?
never. liked
Latavius
Mark
is
Ingram.
more involved in the passing game as well, though.
Latavius Murray can't catch balls.
I thought he could.
Nah, Latavius
When
Murray.
he was coming out of the back,
He was
Kirk and
on
stuff.
the Vikings. He wasn't really known for that. It was always like the split Jarek McKinnon,
Even
Latavius Murray.
even
right?
when he was on the Raiders, he didn't get any of the passing down work.
Really?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a
And
That
he
was
was,
like
like,
that was when he
seven
was
years.
yeah, when he was
like-
popping because he had the like 90-something yard touchdown
Yeah,
run.
Yeah,
or something.
Latavius had
Terrell Pryor did that with
26.
the
That
Raiders.
was crazy.
26 targets for 22 receptions, 141 yards last year.
That guy.
I love
There
it.
he is.
That guy.
Got his stats.
Also, back on the Christian McCaffrey thing, without Cam Newton this year, he's a low end RB1 in my book.
Cam's not
Without
playing at all
Cam
this
Newton.
year, right?
Yeah, he
Cam's
has
not
like the
playing.
same
That's
injury as
not
Andrew Luck did
confirmed.
like
That's not
a few years ago.
confirmed. Well, Andrew Luck
Coming from a
handles
Colts
things
fan,
differently.
yeah, you're probably super paranoid.
Yeah.
I'm
Those things
100%
differently.
paranoid about that.
I don't think it's as big of a problem.
I don't think the Panthers will win more than 5 games this year.
I think. Oh my God.
I would say
It's
they're
gonna
gonna
be a
be
good
That's the only
offense.
thing. The only thing that I would argue about CMC being a top 2 guy is the fact that Cam
Cam's
he's gonna
hurt.
have
Check it down.
he's gonna have the
Yeah,
huge
dude,
workload,
no, if
and I don't know
Will
if he can
Grier
really
comes
handle
in-
that
Will
because
Grier
Cam
comes in-
usually is the one taking most of the
I
contact.
think did they draft Will Grier?
Yeah, they got Will Grier. So he's gonna if Will Grier plays, CMC's gonna be his best friend.
Yeah, but what round draft pick was he? He wasn't a
Nah,
high
he
round.
wasn't.
He wasn't a
He
high
was
round,
like-
but he
like
was
a-
still one of the better quarterbacks.
He's still
coming out of this
he's a good
draft.
quarterback, arguably.
Probably better than Daniel Jones.
Yep. Yeah.
I would not say that.
I mean,
He
you
won
of the
games in
few-
college, but like
Who won games in college? Not Daniel.
Will Grier's like super
Against
short and
good
like
talent.
I don't know.
Will Grier's not that short, no.
Isn't?
Well,
Oh,
you
I'm
don't
so
think so.
wrong. He's
Yeah.
6'2".
He's
I'm
6'2".
talking about
That's an
I
NFL
don't know
quarterback,
about Will
Kyler
Grier.
Murray.
Speaking of Kyler Murray, where does David Johnson fall in your guys' rankings?
Oh yeah, are we gonna
Oh,
wrap
yeah.
into your
Let's,
number 4
let's
picks and
Get
whatnot?
back on
Yeah,
topic
yeah,
to the
okay.
running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
keep
I'll
going,
go
Walsh.
DJ. There's a little bit to DJ, but so 4 I have Kamara. 5 I got Todd because if he's healthy, he's probably gonna be higher than 5. But I have no idea.
There's too much risk
What's
involved
happening.
with him
Yeah.
right now.
That's why
I feel like
played it a little.
At least at this point, during like the off season, it's very unclear like what's gonna happen with Todd Gurley. Like how is he feeling? Like what if the backup gets as much work? Like we all saw the Super Bowl. Like
who's their backup
and like
now?
all
They
in the
got one
playoffs,
season.
like C.J. Anderson was like
Well, CJ got
Beasting.
moved. Where is he?
CJ's on. We talked about this.
Yeah,
we
we
just
talked
looked
about
at
this
this yesterday. It's not the Lions. No, it is
No,
the
it is
Lions.
the Lions.
It wasn't the Bears.
Panthers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it was.
It was on the Lions. Who do you have 5?
I have Melvin Gordon at 5,
I have Melvin at 6.
which I think
that guy's a
Yeah,
touchdown
that makes sense.
machine.
He's
Who,
he
Melvin?
is a touchdown. He's just a touchdown.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
He's
If
a
you,
human
if you
touchdown.
don't play in a
I feel-
PPR league, he is.
I don't
he's higher
understand
than 6.
how no one really considers him. He's every year proven.
Except his rookie year. His rookie year was
Yeah.
such a
He didn't
stinker.
score. He didn't
Yeah.
score a single touchdown his rookie year, and now ever since he's been an absolute.
He's a
It's
touchdown
just-
machine.
Yeah, it's
No, it's
crazy.
because
hasn't
he's on
been
the Chargers,
considered-
and
yeah, I
who
guess.
talks about the Chargers?
But like
No
I feel
one
like he
ever.
puts up. He's always that reliable fantasy guy to put up
Oh,
touchdowns.
absolutely,
So
yeah.
why is he
I
not
love him.
ever considered in like the top 3?
I think him at 5.
Yeah,
And you
should
should
be
get him
happy
at the
taking
end of the first round. He falls in a lot of drafts.
No,
You
I
should be
love
happy
him.
taking him.
I think if you're
Like,
at
yeah, for
if
sure.
you're at like the 5th to 7th pick in the draft, you would be happy with Melvin.
Yeah,
I
I mean, he's got the hamstring problem, but like that's why he's at 5.
you could see arguments for him at 4. Like you could see arguments for him.
I
At
don't
4.
know. Like
It's May at time
It's-
we're recording.
I have a very different opinion on my running backs, especially since the league we all play in is a half-point PPR, and catching
Especially.
balls is like.
He still gets a lot out of the.
Yeah,
backfield.
no, for sure. But I think there's like.
He's like a
a
dollar
lot
store.
of-
Yeah, he's like a dollar store Jamal Charles. Literally. Like literally.
Except
All right,
Not-
the yards per carry.
Yeah, that's a big thing. But he just gets so many touches, so it's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I feel like them and the Rams were similar with the usage of Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon, where whenever they got near the end zone, they just give it to them and
They score
every
They
time. It was just ridiculous.
Who'd you have at your 6?
I have Le'Veon Bell at 6.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Yep.
I think he's
That's
gonna get a
a lower
lot.
pick.
I
but
think he's gonna get a lot.
I'm not totally sold on that because I think the Jets' offense is debatably worse than the Giants. I think Le'Veon Bell is not as good as Saquon Barkley, and it's a very it's a very similar style offense because
that's an
the quarterback is young on the Jets and the quarterback is really old on the Giants, so that's like a big thing. But Darnold doesn't have any other weapons besides him to really help him out.
Like
I know they brought in
Crowder's
Jamison Crowder.
He's a good slot.
He's
guy.
a slot guy.
Robbie
and, like,
Anderson
he's
can
not.
stretch
Well, that's
the
what they
field.
need in the West Coast offense.
But how good
Herndon's
is
an up-and-coming
Robbie
talent.
Anderson? Like how good
Robbie
is
Anderson's like proven himself over the past 2 years.
I mean,
he's a legitimate deep threat.
He's
Like,
a deep threat.
he's
He's,
been-
not
like,
much of a receiver.
He's not
but
going to
a
go
deep
up
threat.
there and jump over the cornerback and
He
catch
can
a
catch 6,
ball.
7 touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but that's like Darnold needs more help than just that.
But Lev's gonna
He's
get.
got Crowder. He's got Lev. He's got
Lev is gonna get a lot of that
They just
volume.
got-
I
Oh,
think,
Lev
'cause-
is going to get so
Assembly.
much
Yeah.
volume,
Oh my
but like
God.
he's had
Him and-
injury questions in the past. Like it's not out of
It's-
the question that
He's
getting
taking
injured.
great care of his body. Like I'm not just saying
Well,
that. Like yeah,
yeah.
I've been watching his,
Did
all
you
his
see
shit.
like the picture of him in like Miami? He looked kind of fat.
What,
That
on the
was-
boat?
6
On the
months
boat?
ago.
Yeah, on the boat.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
dude,
6
or like the
months
jet ski, whatever the fuck, dude.
He did
He's
that.
posting stuff on his like Instagram story now, and he's like getting so much treatment.
He
Like,
looks good.
yeah, he looks good. He doesn't look lean, but he looks big, and he's still quick as shit. Like he's gonna be good.
Well,
I
I
will
mean, he hasn't played in a year.
he's-
I'll
Every day he's
I gotta
constantly
wait and
getting
see
stuff
that.
on his. Like, he's taking
I gotta
really
wait
good
and
care of
see.
his body.
I'm not totally sold on Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I understand the argument
No,
there
yeah,
too.
that's why
Like
I have him lower too.
I have him lower, but I also see him popping off as well. Like I'm just like
Yeah, I'm definitely nervous because he's on the Jets, and that's
That's a scary thought.
definitely questionable.
Yeah,
Anyone on the
exactly.
Jets can
anything.
suck.
I saw a report they might trade him. Like now that Gase is the
Oh my God,
GM,
that'd be
like
so
before the season
That's-
starts.
Oh,
it's
no,
absurd.
it's
I don't think they will,
if
but
they've
just like,
invested that money already, they're just gonna go with him because he is a talent. Even if Gase didn't like the money that they gave him, he definitely likes the
He
talent.
didn't even get as much money as he was begging for. He just
Yeah.
wanted to leave the Steelers to say "fuck you, Steelers."
He got a shit ton of money.
He did good, yeah.
He got a lot of money, but
What was
that's
it,
like not the,
27
that's not what he was asking for.
million guaranteed.
I know it was like
Like,
almost
only the-
quarterback money.
Well, it was like 4 years, like 50 something
Hold on.
million.
Let's-
but the
let's not
first
spec-
2 years.
I wouldn't be
guaranteed.
upset if I was a Jets
Only
fan on
if
getting
it's-
Le'Veon Bell. Like,
Absolutely.
even with the injury factor and like
No,
whatever.
man. I think he's gonna help the team so much. I don't
He's
care what
gonna
anybody says.
help
He's
Sam
definitely
Darnold
gonna help.
develop so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Because he's got that safe option that can do anything with the
Yeah.
ball whenever he gets it.
All right, wait.
Le'Veon Bell's signed 4 years, $52.5 million.
Yes, but the first 2 years are guaranteed. The second 2 aren't.
$25 million fully guaranteed.
So at 7, I got DJ.
DJ,
That's what
okay.
I
I have a lot more faith in DJ this year.
Oh, well,
I don't
dude,
know
the
if I'm
offense
just,
is
like,
going to be
I have
completely
a-
different.
I
It's
have faith in
completely
DJ,
different.
but I don't have faith.
Last
in
year
the
was such a dud for them. They're going to have such a better year this
I
year.
think-
Especially with Kyler. Like, the
No.
hype is so there.
Yeah,
The
no
hype
matter.
is there, but does that mean
They're
that
gonna
it's
DJ's gonna be used the way he should have been used this previous year, and like actually get passing yards and stuff too. He's gonna get receptions.
I
out
don't
of the
think DJ
backfield.
was utilized incorrectly. I think the offense was just so terrible
Yeah,
under
the
Josh
worst-
Rosen.
They're
that
the worst
they
O-line
couldn't-
in the NFL.
They couldn't move the ball because
Don't
the
blame
only
Josh
threat
Rosen.
was-
The
No,
coach,
Rosen-
the team, the
Rosen
line
had
is terrible in
flashes.
Arizona.
Yes,
first of all,
that's
and then
very
the
true.
the coaching is just wasn't there this year, like that year.
Josh Rosen
Just-
wasn't
I'm not
great.
convinced that the coaching is going to be there.
They were like one of the
I
worst
don't
teams
know.
in the NFL.
This
on
guy
that first
offensively is better minded, knows how to use Kyler Murray, and
Didn't he have like a less than 500 record in college?
this coach.
Yeah.
But still, he's an offensive mind that's gonna help Kyler Murray.
He's an
like,
offensive
develop.
mind that hasn't had success in college.
Yeah, but like not even like the coaching or whatever. Like let's just talk about
Yeah.
like Kyler Murray's like athletic ability and just by him able to run out of the pocket and like create
He's gonna
yards
have
with
to.
his feet, like just opens more lanes up for DJ and more options for DJ.
Yeah, you just have to get DJ the ball. He's their only real playmaker.
Because
I'm
now
just-
they have two crazy playmakers, two crazy athletic playmakers on that team. So like anything could happen. I think
it's
there's
about the
more.
usage for David Johnson.
I think it's a high risk,
That's
high
it.
reward.
It's almost the same
situation.
type of situation as Sam Darnold and Lev, if you
No.
like in a way.
No,
I think so.
I think Kyler Murray is way more explosive. Not just like
Way more explosive, but
With
like
his
the running
legs.
back situation, like with a young quarterback.
yeah, that obviously that's a similarity. But Darnold's not gonna go out of the pocket. Or
Dude,
rush for
he's
30
shown that he can
yards
do it
and, like,
before.
once
He's shown he can
yeah,
do it
he's-
before.
he's,
He reminds me of a
he's-
Jared Goff type of quarterback.
He's,
Yeah,
he looks
Jared
like a
Goff
little
is
bit
gonna
like Aaron
be-
Rodgers when he's trying to get
Yeah,
away from
exactly.
the line.
Yeah, but he's
Pretty sweet.
Aaron Rodgers not gonna like risk his body probably the way Kyler Murray's going to.
Yeah.
Well, is that a good thing? Because you see what happened to RG3.
RG3 was a beast his freshman year.
Yeah, and then he
rookie
risked his
beast.
body and died.
Got a shit ton
Well,
of concussions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
He
it's
took
Towards
so many
ACL,
hits.
right?
We're
He
getting
took
very
it,
off topic
yeah,
of David
yeah,
Johnson.
yeah. Who was your 7?
Oh, wait, I just want to say
Yeah.
they completely incorrectly utilized David Johnson last year. He caught like no passes in the beginning of the season.
I don't
It
even
was
think
ridiculous.
like if he was catching passes it would have helped.
And they were giving that backup all the goal line work. It was like ridiculous. Do you remember that?
No, I don't actually.
They were
see
giving
that.
Chase
Yeah.
Edmonds like all the goal line work
Yeah,
last
Chase
year.
Edmonds
It was so
like
dumb.
a fantasy waiver wire pickup like the first couple weeks.
Yeah, so I think if
Jesus.
Cliff Kingsbury uses David Johnson the way he was utilized in 2015 when he had that crazy season,
Yeah.
I think
I mean, DJ did
I
have...
think-
I
I
think
think
he's worth it, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
the
I think
hype that
at
he
10.
had going into last year, where it was like 2,000 yards, like 1,000 rushing, 1,000
Well, he was coming off an
receiving,
injury.
I
and
think
shit.
that is way more probable this year.
Oh, absolutely.
And in like a big way, and kind of like not really a sleeper way, but in a way that like most people are going to sleep on him, kind of. Like he's still probably drafted like the end of first round, early second round,
He's
around there.
I don't know.
I think it's a
Well,
bad offense, and I don't think it's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
get
just-
better
I
this
think-
year, and that's why I don't like
I
him.
think
know.
his value in drafts.
I don't think utilization was actually the problem, because I'm looking at it now.
He had a lot of carries.
He had
you know.
258 attempts and 76 targets.
In the beginning of the season, they weren't throwing him the ball.
Well, they were bad all season.
Yeah, they were like
that guy.
They were like, I don't know the exact stat on me, but it was probably like bottom 5% in the NFL in like first downs or something like that last year. Like
Yeah, they were horrible.
they couldn't pass
They
the
were
ball.
literally
They
terrible.
couldn't.
Josh
pass
Rosen,
it.
yeah, he.
I
couldn't really change
I
it.
don't
Josh
know if
Rosen
it's
did
too
have
early
flashes
to
of
say Josh
talent.
Rosen was terrible, or if it was just like the team around him wasn't good.
He looked good at points. He looked
But-
terrible at points.
Yeah, I
was a
couldn't
rookie
remember
quarterback.
any highlights from him.
He was a rookie quarterback.
Wait, where are we? What were we at?
Seventh.
Seven.
Yeah,
seven.
All right,
Seventh
seventh pick.
pick.
Seventh pick.
Let me get that pen. Walsh, who's your 7th pick, Walsh?
I said my 7th pick.
Who was it?
It was DJ.
Oh, I forgot.
Okay, who was yours?
Mine's Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. You had him last year.
That's I thought that was
It's 'cause
pretty
you
good.
had him
No,
last
show
year.
him some.
I wanted to
respect.
put him over Lev pick.
No way.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon.
No, I think dude? Joe Mixon was
Dude,
a tank
the
last year.
Bengals are terrible.
They're so bad.
They're so bad.
They've
They
always
fell
been
apart
bad.
last year because of injury.
What do you think? AJ Green's not going to get hurt again?
AJ
this
Green
year?
is like a huge. Yeah, I don't think he.
Turf toe?
I'm not projecting him to get hurt, so I'm gonna assume Joe Mixon's gonna.
Turf toe has killed him like the past 3 seasons
AJ
in
Green,
a row.
AJ Turf Toe Green.
Yeah.
And he's like 30 now. Like
He's-
he's past his prime.
Well,
He
Joe
is-
Mixon is
he's
just
on his
getting
way
into
out.
his prime, and he's a fucking beast.
He's good. There's no O-line. There's no good tight end. There's no good quarterback. There's a good receiver, but injury prone. Like they don't have the pieces. At least with the Giants and the Jets, they have the Eli's definitely better than Andy Dalton in my opinion, and I think Sam Darnold has like so much more potential than Andy Dalton will literally ever have.
Yeah.
And I just think like Joe Mixon, like
They probably should have traded Joe Mixon, honestly.
Yeah, Walsh, where do you have?
they should
Um,
rebuild.
Oh, I'll just say this because
Yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Mixon's my number 8.
Oh, okay.
Joe Mixon had more yards per attempt than Ezekiel Elliott and the same as Todd Gurley. So he had
Stud.
I think
1,168 rushing yards with 8 rushing touchdowns.
And only like how many games?
And
he got hurt last year, didn't he?
He had the
Only
same
12
amount of
games.
in
touches.
13 games
13
started.
13 games. There.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty freaking good.
83.4
They-
yards
they-
a game.
They like the running back there in Cincinnati. They always have. Remember what's his name?
Jeremy Hill.
Jeremy Hill.
Gio
yeah,
Bernard.
Gio Bernard.
Well, Gio Bernard's still the best. Oh, is he still on the team?
I think he's
He
still back.
was at some point last season. I can't say.
I know
he
he. Yeah,
is
he
now.
I believe he's still on the team. Okay, so
Yeah,
who do you
so-
have as number 8 now?
James Conner
James
at
Conner.
number 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
Number
dude.
8.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a stud. He's any Steelers running back after their season to shine just blows up. Like, whoever's getting the ball there, they give them like a lot of volume. Big Ben's always throwing dinks and dunks to the running backs. They just figure it out. So
I
He was
think
a stud last year.
yeah,
I think I don't have my rankings set up or anything like that, but like James Conner would probably be right under Saquon for me in that number
Really?
2.
You
yeah,
think?
because like he was like a top 5 running back last year, and like
Mhm.
under the assumption that Le'Veon Bell like might come back like the entire season, so he had no idea if that job was gonna be his for like a long time, and he produced, and they still
He was
have
an animal.
Juju, they still have Big Ben, like they still have a great offense, like. I think number 8 for you, and I don't know what it is on Walsh's.
He's not on my top 10.
Like that's just like that's absurd.
James Conner's not on your top 10.
He's
He's
not
like-
on my top 10.
Wow.
I would put him at like.
Yeah,
number
you
2.
never really liked the Steelers.
It's not that I don't like the Steelers, because
James
I do
Conner.
have I like Juju this year, but I think the Steelers are just going to be a worse team, and
without AB.
without AB, I think they're going to be a worse team. Ben's a year older.
AB was a big producer for them last year.
AB was a big.
He was a touchdown machine. I don't think he got the yards or receptions that he normally gets.
Not the
But-
he had a lot. He had a
Like
good
I
year.
like James Conner. If I had to rank him, I would probably put him at 11. But I have less faith in the team than I have in James Conner.
That
Curious.
offense, yes, it got worse with the loss of AB. But if you look at the other offenses in the league, just those 3 guys, like James Conner's still super young, Juju Smith-Schuster's still super young, and they got that veteran quarterback like behind them. They still have a solid trio that they're going to be utilizing, and like James Conner is going to be utilized ridiculously.
You
He's
bet.
going to get every single running back touch.
How long can like Big Ben?
He's got at least
How
another
long can he?
few years. They just
How old
re-signed
is
him.
he? How old is
They just re-signed him.
Yeah,
gave
for
him a
2
new
he?
year.
He was
years,
just gonna
3 years.
retire though.
Dude, like maybe, but like he's still playing at a fairly high level.
He's been all right.
Last
he
season
was a
was-
sick fantasy quarterback
Last
year.
season, like, was the first year that like Big Ben on the road like did something.
Yeah.
So like
Is the number 3.
I
quarterback
think
in
that's got to say something. Yeah, I think that's got to say something.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
still
had a lot of top
producing.
finishes.
At least fantasy wise, he's definitely still producing.
But he loses one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Let's see if he can.
Yeah, but that might improve team chemistry. Like, like the entire year there was like constant like conflict between AB and Big Ben.
Yeah, and I think they're really good at developing young wide receivers. They have a lot of upcoming talent.
How
other
old
than
is
Juju.
Like 22. James Conner's like 24. Like
James Washington's a beast too. They
Juju's
drafted
younger.
someone this year
Juju's
who's
like
also really
21.
good. They're definitely.
He's in his early 20s,
Yeah,
and
he's
like
crazy.
he's gonna be good for a while, and he's not even close to his prime yet. Like he's only going to get better, bar injury.
Yeah, so James Conner definitely a good pick in the first round. I have no problem with him as my RB1.
I think
obviously.
he's like.
But I think there are just so many really good running backs.
You guys
this year
having Ezekiel
available.
Elliott 1 is like shocking to me.
Why?
They both. I was talking about it yesterday with you guys, and I just feel like Saquon is just the clear number one, and like
I'm worried about the
Zeke is number
offense.
2. I don't know, man. I just feel like Zeke, for some reason, I just feel like Saquon has like such more potential to score literally at any time on the field, and I feel like Zeke this year he just might get banged up, and this offense might just go to shit for the
They have the
Cowboys.
best offensive line in football.
Yes.
Dude, still, but
But
they're
they
good.
got
Look
banged.
at the amount of times he gets the ball a game. Like he's pounding it down their throat every time, and he's just eventually.
He started
He doesn't
catching
have an
passes,
injury
right?
history. He's still young.
Dude, he plays through a lot of stuff. You see him limping like all the time. Like,
Yeah,
at
he's
the
a
game.
fucking beast.
It's crazy.
He's the definition of a workhorse running back.
He's
Yeah.
a fucking animal.
He's the definition. I feel like
And they should pay him like
no matter
they're
how
trying to extend
good
it.
you thought Dez was, the loss of Dez was like so big to them, and like especially
They didn't
his
have a wide
numbers.
receiver. Yeah.
Yeah,
Until Amari.
Amari
Beast
Cooper
without
came
him.
in and like beasted and feasted. I wonder if he'll do that again this year. How do you guys feel about that?
I like Amari. I like him as a flex. I would definitely like feel comfortable as a flex, like starting him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Maybe
rank him
wide receiver
high.
too.
Even a wide receiver too, I guess. I mean, depending on my running back situation. Like
I don't want to spoil anything.
Towards the
but,
end of last
we'll
year.
talk about Amari Cooper during my top 10 wide receiver.
Right.
coverage.
Oh, we
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
we will. Yes, we will.
Okay,
so, where are we at with the running backs?
Yeah, we're at
We're at
9.
my 9. Are you guys ready for some controversy?
I'd love to hear some comments.
I have Chris Carson as my number 9.
That's true.
Damn, Walsh.
Ooh.
I don't like that at all.
Especially
Well,
with the loss of Doug Baldwin, that offense is just literally getting worse by the
they
day.
got DK Metcalf. Russ is still
Who-
gonna be russing all the time. But-
Russing.
Being like just
Handing the ball off to his running back.
yeah, that's what Russ does. That's what he does better than any quarterback in the game. Is hand the ball off, even better than Sanchez.
I think they're going to split it right down the
Even
middle.
better than Mark Sanchez.
Even better than Sanchez. No, I mean, if you look at his numbers, Carson was 5th in the league in rushing yards in 14 games. He had 9 touchdowns. His receiving numbers weren't there because they don't really do that style of play with their running back, but he quietly had a great year.
He was a beast. I didn't really follow him too much last year. I never really had him.
Yeah,
And I didn't like anyone on the Seahawks last year, so like
I drafted Rashad Penny.
yeah.
He's still there. So,
Yeah, I think they're gonna split the work this year.
So
Yeah, the running back situation is just something I would avoid.
It's-
They're each
a
gonna have like
mess
15
there.
carries a game.
it's
I
a
mean,
mess
both
there.
of
I
them.
think it's
Yeah.
way too early to really confirm like who's going to be the starter. Like Rashad Penny could beat him out. Like he's the younger guy. He was their first round draft pick last year. Like they clearly have confidence in him. He showed up to training camp last year like 25 pounds heavier. Like we got to see what he's looking like this year. Like there's so much up in the air around like the Seahawks running backs. I think it's like way too early to confirm like if Chris Carson's even going to be the starter.
I don't know. I don't think they have confidence in Penny. They gave him like 5 touches a game last year.
Towards the end of the season, they were using him more, and that's
Yeah,
100% factual.
Well, I don't know. I'm just looking at Carson's numbers, and I think if he gets the starting position, he could put up big numbers. Like they can't. Those are numbers that you just can't ignore.
True.
And
Very
I wanted the talking point. I don't, because obviously it's still very early and we don't know a lot, but I felt like he needed to be addressed.
Also,
yeah,
I think
him over James Conner's insane.
yeah. I also think James Conner's numbers last year were like way better than Chris Carson's,
Oh wait.
They were.
especially in the touchdown department
Yeah.
and
He had
receptions.
3 more touchdowns.
What about the receiving yards and receptions? Because our league's half-point PPR, so that's like
Yeah.
a really important thing is the receptions.
James Conner had 55 receptions.
55.
That's a solid amount.
Yeah.
That's like a very good amount for a running back.
And Carson had 24.
Yeah, exactly. It's double the amount of receptions,
Yeah.
which relieves whatever the difference in yards is and like the potential for touchdowns. So I don't know. I don't agree with that Chris Carson
Yeah.
pick at all.
I think he's a high end RB2.
Low end RB2.
I don't know. I don't like him at all, to be honest. I
Yeah,
just don't like
like-
the situation there. It's just something.
I think
to avoid.
he was really good last year. Like
He
to your
was.
point, he was a tank.
I don't think
Yeah.
they're gonna give up on Rashad Penny yet. That's
Yeah,
all
I
I'm saying.
don't-
Is
Like Zenu's team when he was sick at the end of the season was because of like Chris
Chris
Carson.
Carson.
he didn't even make playoffs.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
Well, he got cheated out of
he
playoffs,
got
but
cuffed out of it.
We're not going to
we don't actually
dive into that. Who was your number 9?
My number
I don't
nine-
view Zen as a threat at all.
Shots fired.
My number 9 is Todd Gurley.
Okay.
Kind of talking about him.
That's
Yeah,
crazy that he dropped all the way down there.
Number 9.
I think there's
I
just a
respect
lot
that.
of really good running backs.
I think
He
he's
was
really
the first
high
pick.
risk,
He
really
was
high
the first
reward.
pick in our draft last year.
Yeah, I got him. Saved my season.
Mine was second, so great job there, boys.
Yeah, what a beat.
Hey man, this was before that was all known, and I dropped
Everyone
James
was
Conner.
Everyone was telling me, they said, dude, you're stupid if you don't take Lev first overall.
Yeah,
It's
I was
crazy.
saying that.
You
I
were
was
saying
on
that.
that bandwagon. I was like, oh,
No,
I'm
yeah,
gonna play
at the
like,
time, man.
he's not gonna pull his like bullshit. What did he do? He pulled the bullshit.
He pulled
And that's
some
crazy
bull.
now that you would just say that you could throw James Conner right in there at that number 2 spot now after like Zeke in this year's draft.
Oh,
James Conner
Zeke is like.
isn't Le'Veon Bell.
I would probably put Kamara above Zeke.
You put Kamara above Zeke?
Oh, for sure. I'd probably
Zeke-
put Melvin Gordon before Zeke. Too.
Zeke took such
That's
a
unreal.
big step last year in like
Yeah,
getting
Getting
passes,
better.
and like I think that's a huge deal for him, and that's why I think it puts him into that top 2 discussion, is because he's got that insane workload that Saquon has.
Oh, exactly.
There's no
yeah.
difference, and I think
Yeah.
they're way better offense than the Giants are.
Yeah, I say him at 2.
I'd also-
absolutely.
The only worry with Zeke is that Dak vultures goal line touchdowns.
And if he
That's
beats
only
the shit
problem.
out of somebody
But
off the
that's-
field again.
That's risky. Like that's
What?
quarterback touchdowns. Like
He scores a lot of
rushing
goal line
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Yeah, but like
That's a big
that's
upside
hard
for
to keep
Dak.
consistent, especially when he gets older. Like I don't know if
Dak.
like the coaching staff will want him to take those hits.
It's a big part of Dak's game. He
I
rushes.
think they might want him to take those hits, so he's done playing and they get a new quarterback.
Right, I
Fuck
think it's about
yourself.
time.
I love Dak.
I know you love Dak. I saw you had him on your mock.
Yeah, you traded me Carson Wentz because you didn't like Dak 2 years ago, and then
That didn't work.
I
out
did
well.
way better.
Well, he didn't have Zeke. As long as he got Zeke, he's a fucking stud in my eyes.
If anyone had Zeke, they're a fucking stud.
Okay.
If you
that's
had
not true.
Zeke,
That's
If
That's not
Jay had Zeke, he could put up, I don't know, maybe 4,000 yards passing.
Yeah, I
Like
could see that.
touchdowns. No, you would be good.
Yeah, I'd be a fucking beast.
So where are we at on these rankings? Where are we at on
My number 10 is Lev, who we already talked about.
Yeah, we talked about a
So-
bunch. I just think
Yeah,
he's
I
going to
got
get
DJ.
volume with Gase. So
Yeah.
I just think that's like.
Yeah, mine's DJ.
DJ?
Yeah.
We all.
Yeah,
we all-
We already talked
I
about
can see
DJ.
about that.
So,
So yeah,
that was the running back rankings?
Yeah. Who
Yeah,
do you
so-
think was do you have any glaring omissions that you noticed?
Chris Carson, I don't agree with.
That's not an omission.
What does that even mean?
It's
like
someone who
someone
wasn't
who
on
wasn't
the
in it.
list.
Oh, anyway, well, Chris Carson shouldn't have been on your list. That's my omission.
I wanted a talking point.
Okay, I got you.
fuck yourself.
Someone who I think should have been on it.
I
Yeah.
got one if you don't got one.
Don't say Marlon Mack.
Not gonna say
Definitely not
Marlon
one.
Mack.
Don't say Damian Williams. I'll punch you.
I'm not gonna say Damian Williams.
Thank God.
Derrick Henry, I guess. I think he's definitely going to be a top 10 back if they give him the touches, man. There's no
If they
reason they
let him
shouldn't.
Towards the
be
end
the
of the
man.
season, like,
He's gonna
he
do
was
great
the
things
man.
for that franchise.
This kid's wearing a Derrick Henry shirt.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now.
why not? Derrick Henry's a beast. We know that. We know he's a
A little
freak.
biased.
This is
Mine-
known.
Bye.
My little
He's trash.
omission to your guys' top 10 for running backs is
It would
gonna
be
be
in
very
fantasy.
controversial. Is what's his face? Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, you
Chubb.
put him in
Nick
the top
Chubb.
10.
Nick
Well,
Chubb
How do you think?
the only
was
thing.
a stud
Well,
last
they got
year.
Kareem Hunt. That's
He was
not
a beast.
He's suspended for 6 games, and I think like
8
why
games.
8 games?
Yeah.
Even better.
This
for,
is a fantasy list. So
yeah, and he's
his
going to be out
value
the
is
first
good.
8 games, and I think Nick Chubb's value is like currently better than Le'Veon Bell's for sure.
well, if
I'd
his,
rather have look at their offense, man. They're like, if,
Kareem Hunt is so good.
yeah, but so is Nick Chubb. Did you not see what
Kareem
he
Hunt
did
is
last
split
year?
the work.
Kareem
There's not
Hunt
gonna be
is
enough to
better
go
than
around.
Nick Chubb.
I don't know. I think if you're trying to make a splash, especially early game, like early season, you could probably snag him in the 3rd round or something like that. I don't know where he's going in drafts. I haven't done mocks.
Some people have
Yeah.
him as top 10 running backs. If you can get him in the 3rd round, that's not horrible. It is great to kick off your season.
I would
with
love.
a stud like
Mason
Chubb when he has.
But
It's
when
like
you're
Kamara's who has 4 games
RB2 like flex, like for me at least.
When you're making that
I would
playoff
draft him
push,
over Lev.
when you're making that playoff push and Kareem Hunt comes back, that's gonna suck.
Every single year, a top 10 running back gets injured. Every single year. That backup is going to be valuable every single year.
100%.
So, like, if you don't plan on draft, like, picking up somebody because, like, of injury or whatever, just, like, it will happen. Like, a top 10 running back's going to get hurt and their backup's going to have insane value every single year.
Yeah, but
How does that relate?
it's
to
risky
Nick
as
Chubb?
fuck, and you're still gonna lose
So
all
his,
that value after 6
his
weeks.
early game value, like, his early season value is, like,
Oh, is it
worth
akin
it.
to him getting injured in week 8?
No, not him getting injured. Like another top 10 running back getting injured and picking up their backup, so that when Nick Chubb
He's saying
is
once Kareem
splitting
Hunt's
the work.
back,
Oh, so
You
you're
can just
banking.
pick up another
so
guy.
You're saying get Nick Chubb and bank on you being able to claim the next great top 10 running back backup.
so
No.
that you can put him in for
No,
Nick
but
Chubb
there's-
once he's not good
there's
anymore. And Kareem
32
Hunt's back.
NFL teams. They all have starting running backs. Like
That
one of
makes
them,
sense.
there's going to be
That's
sleepers. There's going to be people that have like a good season out of nowhere that are going to be like a pickup. There's going to be people that get hurt and their backups just come out of nowhere
I
and
know
do
that.
great. It happens every single
Yeah,
year.
you have to be aware.
Just
We were
because
talking about this
you don't
before.
want to bank on it, but like if you think about it, it happens every year. So like the opportunities are there for that to happen. For you.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's
you
why I
can't
think
bank on
Nick
that.
Chubb is like easily a top 10 running back.
All right. So let's
For
wrap up with the
fantasy.
running backs there. That was pretty good talk about that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so we'll hop into receivers here. Which one do you guys want to get into your top 10 first? Who wants to
Well,
lead?
you can start with the top 10 because I started last time.
Cool. All right. Well, I have Nook at number 1, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, he's a stud. He catches everything, and Deshaun Watson's a beast too. It's gonna be a high-powered offense.
I would personally put. I don't have my list made, as I've said multiple times, but I would put Devontae Adams above him just because I think the gap between like skill level between Aaron Rodgers and like Deshaun Watson is like pretty massive.
I think the skill level between DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams is pretty massive. Too.
Yeah, but I feel like the quarterback is like such a crazy important like position for
Yeah,
the wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Rodgers can hit Devontae Adams anywhere with like the tightest coverage on him. Like he's got that kind of skill. Deshaun Watson hasn't like shown the ability that Aaron Rodgers has to hit that receiver in like the tightest coverage.
Yeah, but Nook has never needed that. He's never had a quarterback that's been good, and he's always been a stud.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like-
His whole career, he's had like Tom Savage throwing to
Yeah.
him.
It doesn't
He's
matter.
just amazing, but I think Aaron Rodgers like helped Devontae Adams like look even better.
We're splitting hairs, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, we love both of them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But
For the same reasons, almost, it sounds like. Because you
Exactly.
think that both can do the same.
Yeah, their
thing.
numbers are pretty comparable. I
Because
had
of that.
Hopkins is my number 1 as well.
okay.
Yeah.
But Hopkins had 1,572 receiving yards. Adams had 1,386, but he had one less game. Adams had 13 touchdowns. Hopkins had 11. So they're very similar.
Yeah, stat guy.
Yeah, Adams got 92.4 yards a game. Hopkins had 98. So it's not all that different. But I could see if you want to take Devontae Adams as
Stat guy.
as your top. I think stats are important in a game that's based on
On stats. Yeah. Well, in sports, stats. Yeah. Stats
Especially
are-
in the fantasy aspect.
especially in its
Yeah.
fantasy aspect. Exactly. Which is good.
Where it comes down to the stat.
Which is, yeah, it's good that we actually get to talk about the
We're
stats.
putting
So,
money.
shout out, Stack.
Who's your number 2 there?
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, Adams. I had Julio.
Ooh, I've seen
I don't
some people's
love
lists have that.
Devontae Adams. I don't love Devontae Adams. Yeah.
I
just
don't love Julio.
I don't love Julio
I
either.
think Julio Jones is one of the most overrated fantasy wide receivers. And I emphasis on fantasy because I'm not taking away what that man can do on the field.
Julio?
Like,
Yeah.
I think talent-wise, he might be the best wide receiver.
Yeah,
in the league.
I agree.
But he can't get touchdowns.
Did last year.
Not that many. How many
Yeah,
touchdowns? He had 8
Yeah,
touchdowns.
but they all came in the last 8 games or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is unlike him.
I mean,
Which is unlike him. Every
Bro.
single year, he's got low-digit touctouhdowns.
Yeah, he's
Every
always
single
done that.
year.
He
Matt
should be
Ryan can't
beast.
get it to him in the end zone.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
why
what's
I
going
have
on there.
I have Julio lower. He'll be down.
You would think
lower, but yeah.
somebody his size and his mass would be like fantastic in the red
Yeah.
zone.
And
And
they
Matt
can
Ryan
just never
can't
find
find
him
him.
the ball. Yeah, exactly.
They just can't get it to him.
Yeah.
Nick
But-
Bosa hurt his hamstring in practice today.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Oh my
That's
God.
not good.
That's
But
definitely
I was like, Julio led the league in targets, led the league in yards receiving.
he does that every
8
year.
touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, he's
But touchdowns are
fantastic.
huge. Touchdowns are
Was he
very
third?
huge.
He was third in the league in receptions. That's important for PPR. Only behind Michael Thomas and Hopkins. Yeah, I mean, I think he's. I don't know where you have him, but I couldn't
Julio.
see myself putting him outside of the top 3.
He's way outside my top 3.
Yeah, he wouldn't be in my top 3 either.
No, I definitely don't blame you because the touchdown upside is there based on what happened last year. But I just think the risk is too great because I think there's so many good receivers this year too that can catch a lot of touchdowns.
I think
and I don't
there's-
think he.
Well,
I wouldn't bank on him catching more touchdowns than some of the other guys that I have.
Well, Atlanta did draft 2 linemen in the first round, so I think Matty's gonna have more time. I think that passing
I
attack.
think that's going to help Devonta
Overall.
Freeman more than anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, they got
For sure.
a guard and a tackle,
which
So
is great. Which
I
is
think
good
that's
for them,
gonna.
too.
I think Calvin Ridley's gonna have better numbers, and I think Julio's gonna have similar, if not.
I don't
You
know how
think
meaty
so? The
it
whole
is.
offense is
I
really
think the
good.
whole offense is gonna take a good
Which-
step up. I know the
Isn't it-
linemen are not proven, but at least one of them is gonna be a
Well,
first round
you know,
caliber talent.
Yeah,
I think there's too much talent on that team for Julio Jones
This
to really
is-
stick out in the touchdown.
Yeah, but the
department.
offense will probably
Yeah, I
be
like,
like Calvin
successful.
Ridley a lot this
Even
year.
if they try and get it to him more, I don't think that's possible because Devonta Freeman, because of Calvin Ridley, because of all the people around them, Austin Hooper,
That's really it.
who's really
Yeah.
good in the touchdown in
I
the
like
red
Oh,
zone.
Yeah, it's
I
fun.
hate that
Bro,
guy.
I
Well,
don't-
AB
you can't
had-
deny that for a tight end,
He'll
he's
catch
one of the
3
more.
touchdowns.
Yeah, and that's 3 out of Julio's pocket,
I
possibly.
mean, tight ends. It's
Maybe.
hard. It's hard to find.
Well, they
tight
could
end.
do it like this.
It's like such a drop
last
off in
year,
tight ends.
where AB had 15 touchdowns, Juju had 7.
Did you add all your yards?
Yeah, Juju had 11 yards. Well, I mean,
Just that guy.
he's good. Julio's gonna have more yards.
Oh yeah, Julio's
Yeah,
gonna have the
Calvin
yards,
Ridley.
but you can't count on the touchdowns, and for that reason, I'm out.
I'm out.
For those reasons,
For
I'm
those
out.
I agree with that. But I definitely don't have him as low as Chris will. Because I
Because-
liked Julio Jones a lot last year, but
I-
he didn't come through.
I think he's
just
good.
a nice guy.
I think he's good, but the value of where he's going in fantasy drafts is not worthwhile.
Exactly.
He's
I
not-
won't be able to get him where I have him.
Yeah, exactly. Also, same with me.
Who do you have 3?
Yeah, I have OBJ at 3. You're
We're at
definitely
3
gonna
here?
disagree with me
Number
here.
3.
I disagree with that already.
I vehemently.
I
get it.
Vehemently
No,
disagree.
I love OBJ, and I'm
I
gonna
love
fight
it.
it to the fucking grave. He's the most talented receiver in the NFL.
I second that
Bull
notion.
He's the most
I
I
talented
second
think he's
that.
right behind no.
He's the most talented. Yeah, Nook's the best receiver in the NFL, but OBJ is the most athletic receiver.
I
The
agree.
most talented.
Julio's
He's
a better
5'11". Nook's
Yeah.
6'3" or something like that.
Nook has great hands.
Yeah.
Don't
Nook
get me
has
wrong.
So
the
he's
better,
OBJ.
the God-given gift for football.
Yeah, exactly.
And OBJ is not a small guy, but a smaller on the receiving.
And his
side.
work ethic is crazy. He wants the ball. He knows what he can do with the ball, and he knows he can
He
score.
wants to
He's a
win
little
games.
nuts.
He
That's-
wants. Yeah,
that's
he,
why
wa-
went
he
to
wants to win
Cleveland.
games.
He wants to win games.
You know
He's
who
a bright
doesn't want the
future for
ball?
them.
He wants the opportunity. Yeah.
Bad wide receivers. Every great wide receiver wants the ball. AB wanted it so bad that they shipped him off to Oakland.
But the thing that scares me about OBJ this year is when Jarvis Landry, obviously
Oh, I
two
love Jarvis.
different kind
I
of
love
receiving
Jarvis, but-
styles,
Yeah.
but Baker Mayfield didn't target Jarvis Landry. He didn't
Oh, yeah.
go out of his way to get Jarvis Landry the ball. I don't know if that's the type of quarterback Baker is, or
Well,
if Jarvis
Jarvis-
just wasn't getting open.
Jarvis wasn't
Jarvis
getting
is-
open as much. He was double teamed a lot during the season. And
But when you look at him and then you look at their next guy up, who is it, Antonio Callaway or something like that?
who got
There's
open
a-
later on?
There is a clear skill difference there, and they didn't focus Jarvis Landry. So that's what gets me a little nervous about them possibly focusing OBJ. And also Jarvis Landry's still there, so that's gonna eat into his workload, obviously.
I think it just depends on the kind of relationship that OBJ cultivates with Baker.
I don't even know if it's
if
like
they
a
have,
relationship.
If they have
type
great
of thing.
no, it's their chemistry. They need to have good chemistry to be successful.
Baker's used to throwing to random receivers in college. Like now, one of those random receivers is going to be Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, maybe he should show up to OTAs.
Jarvis is
They have. He's there.
He was there. He went there one day.
Dude,
and then left.
OTAs don't mean anything.
Yeah, but if you're
Lev-
if you're
what is
on a
Lev
new
doing?
if you're on a new team,
Le'Veon.
is in New York. He's not
No, he's in Miami.
in Europe.
He's in Miami.
He's
Is he on
Yeah,
whack.
he's working out in Miami. He's
He's
like a
just
workout program in Miami.
I don't care as much about
I wonder why. All right, moving on here. The number 4 pick with receivers.
Wait,
right?
I didn't get my 3.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
It was Devontae Adams. We already talked about him.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Moving on to number 4. What do we got, Jay?
My number 4 is Juju.
Juju.
Smith-Schuster. I
Okay.
fucking love this guy. He is so explosive and he's like Saquon kind of. He can take anything to the house. I love him.
That 99-yard touchdown last year's got you feeling some type of way.
I mean, he has a lot of
97.
long touchdowns.
Whatever, same shit.
He does it a lot.
Yeah, no, I like him. I definitely rank him over Julio Jones.
He's ready for his year to pop off now that
This
AB's
is
not
here.
there.
This is his year.
Yeah, people are afraid that the coverage is gonna tighten down on him because AB's gone.
Mhm.
But I think he can handle it.
I think he's just talented.
I think it's a balanced enough offense too that they're not going to be able to key in on him. They have a lot of weapons.
James
good.
Conner's going to open the field up
Exactly.
for him.
I think he's going to be
Him
stuck.
alone.
I have the same opinion as I did about James Conner. I don't think that. I mean, I just think the offense is. I think no, he's in my top 10,
Thank God.
but I just think the offense is going to be worse.
Okay.
That's my opinion on it.
I agree with that to an extent, but I don't think it'll be much worse.
Yeah, he's definitely comfortably in my top 10. My number 4 is Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas
Love
gets
that man.
all the targets.
Yeah, he's my 5. So.
But that's the only thing though is I feel like Drew can also just throw it to anybody. Like he'll go games where he's not throwing to Michael
Did you
Thomas.
see
Yeah,
last
year
season?
was horrible, dude. That was the worst.
Michael Thomas
Oh.
led the league in receptions.
Yeah.
Dude, still like Drew, the amount of times they score, they're a high-powered offense. Like still those times
He's going to get targets. He's going to get touchdowns. He's going to get yards.
yeah. But now is the matter: are they going to keep it up this year without Mark Ingram?
Last year, yeah, it's just going to make it easier for him.
You think?
Kamara's going to get more of the workload. They still have Latavius Murray there, who's going to do something.
The thing with Michael Thomas is that they don't need him. So like you said, there were games where they didn't need him, so he didn't do anything. I got him week 8, and
You're welcome.
He scored over 20 twice, and he had so many duds. It was nerve wracking.
Yeah, but in the championship week, he showed up.
No, yeah, he did, and he had enough production somehow still to end up on top.
Your team was also ridiculous last year.
Yeah, I didn't need him either.
He would go games. He would have those games where he would be quiet, and then he would have 15 catches. Like it was like crazy.
Yeah,
And
weird.
he was so good.
But he had 2 touchdowns.
He was streaky. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like what Mike Evans was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't remember.
Mike Evans is
exactly how
always
long.
streaky.
Last year,
Last
he
year
started.
was
the
his most
quarterback.
consistent year
Last year he started
because
so
he had
hot
Fitzmagic.
and then fell
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, because
The quarterback.
Jameis Winston started playing football.
Exactly.
He's still there.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Crazy that man has a job.
Yeah, they should have kept Fitzpatrick or drafted a quarterback, done something.
They should have done something. Imagine Haskins, like him and Mike Evans would have been.
That's what I think this year's draft is kind of like is when Mariota and Jameis were the clear 2 quarterbacks. This year it's Kyler Murray and Haskins.
So
Yeah,
that
but
means they're both going to be awful in 4 years.
Yeah, but Mariota and Winston were 1 and 2. This was 1, and then it went down. What was it, Haskins?
1 and
16. Or
They had
something.
crazy defensive players this year in the
Yeah,
draft.
it's
Crazy.
crazy. But it was the clear 1 and 2. Where there was that much of a drop off
Because it wasn't a
offensive.
crazy draft
It wasn't I guess it wasn't like the top teams needed a quarterback.
like Nick Bosa. That guy's
Yeah,
gonna
the
be a
only
stud.
talking points from the draft were just outrageously bad picks. Thank you, Giants.
Yeah, really. And I think the Raiders fucked up a couple times, but we talked about that in an earlier episode, so we'll get back in over here to number 5 pick. Are we at?
Yeah.
Well, I had Michael Thomas as my number 5,
Okay.
and my number 6 is Julio. So.
Way to just skip my number 5. Bro.
Well, now we'll go your
it's
5
not
and
We don't really
6.
care.
not really a spoiler because we already talked about it.
We already
It's your
talked about
number-
both those
it's your
guys. So
number
we got 5 and 6 over here to Walsh.
Odell Beckham Jr. is my number 5.
Okay.
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 I thought you'd have him a lot lower. I'm
I
happy.
I don't
wouldn't
like
put him
him,
top
but
five.
he has undeniable talent.
I wouldn't put him top 5. I don't think the opportunity's there. I think they have way too many guys in that offense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I argued against him a lot, but I just
He's a
Came
beast.
to your senses.
it's not a
around-
it's not it's,
He's
Once
never
you
not
saw
done
who
it.
was next on the list.
it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. So I mean, he'll probably be very good, and I'll just accept it. What was your number 6?
My number 6 was Julio.
Okay, my number 6 is Mike Evans.
Okay. He's my
Mike
7.
Evans.
Like that fucking quarterback situation.
Yeah, I mean, Jameis is a plague on that organization.
Yeah, he
But-
ruined them last year.
But Mike Evans finds a way, like miraculously. I
Because
don't
he's
know.
that talented. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
He's a really good
He
touchdown.
gets
scorer.
so many targets. That's why he's
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
why.
that's
Just
the only
valuable
reason.
targets.
And that offense, like their defense, the Buccaneers defense.
Can I find out how many drops he has in the last 2 seasons or something?
His catch percentage was 62.3%.
It was bad.
Is that bad?
That's not good.
I mean, what's like
alright.
a good catch percentage?
So
for
Michael Thomas's was 85%.
Okay.
Julio
He's
Jones
a-
is 66.5. That's a bad year for Julio.
Michael
No,
Thomas is probably one of the
was
best.
70%.
So
yeah,
now-
Michael Thomas was the best by a lot. Like there, if you hang around 70, that's good. Lockett had 81, which was weird.
Oh, okay, so 6. That's pretty good though.
Yeah, no, I mean it's decent, and just for the amount of targets that he gets, it's
Yeah.
not really a problem.
He gets a lot of. I'm sure he gets a lot of end zone targets because he gets a lot of touchdowns.
He had
So-
eight touchdowns.
He's
last
a big
season.
body. How could you
That's
not throw to
probably
him in
low
the red zone?
Yeah.
You know?
But he had 1,500 yards.
They have to throw to
Jesus
somebody.
Christ.
Who are they going to throw to? They had
Yeah.
Cole Beasley back then, right? Wasn't it? Not
Deshaun
Cole Beasley.
Jackson,
Fucking
no.
Adam Humphries.
Adam Humphries.
Deshaun
I think of
Jackson
Adam Humphries as
and
a dollar
Humphries,
store
yeah.
Cole Beasley. That's why I said
They're
that.
both
I like
dollar
Humphries.
stores.
I like Humphries.
They're both dollar stores.
And then because
Julian
Cole,
Edelman.
exactly, Julian Edelman. I was going to say
Mike Evans falls in the draft every year. I feel.
Yeah, I mean,
because there's no
it's-
quarterback.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
thing.
hard to have faith in the stability of that program. But
That's why
Bruce
no
Arians
Jets
is
receiver ever got
cool,
taken.
and I like his hats.
Nice.
Like Chris got him in the 3rd round last year. That's sweet.
It was a sick deal. I went. By the way, my strategy last year was I drafted 3 wide receivers. on
Yeah,
my
I know.
first 3
It was
picks.
pretty obvious. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, what were you hiding? You drafted 3 fucking.
And it didn't really work
And then
out
you got
until
Royce Freeman.
until I traded Michael Thomas and kind of screwed Justin over.
Yeah, but when you have the depth talent at
Very
one
good.
position, you could trade those guys.
It
for
got me to
them.
playoffs, okay?
Did
yeah.
you win the playoffs?
No,
Who won the playoffs?
I don't really want to talk about that.
I can't wait to draft.
I
I'm
won the
excited.
playoffs.
Just talking about this stuff gets me horny.
That was Justin was speaking when he said I won the playoffs.
Thanks, Ryan.
I'm not backing up people to recognize your voice.
All right, where are we at
They
here? Whose
don't
pick we
care.
at? We're going Walsh again. We had Odell at 5.
I had
I
Mike
just said
Evans.
7.
at
Mike
6.
Evans.
And then
7, you had Mike Evans.
Yeah.
7, I had Juju.
Okay. I had.
I think-
8.
I think Juju is like probably a tier above where I would place Michael Thomas.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to articulate this.
That's the tier.
But I
one for me.
think, yeah, I think Juju is like at least 5 picks ahead of Mike Evans in wide receiver depth charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like a relative guess of what I would have.
Okay. We'll make a list next time.
And then
Yeah,
talk to me.
yeah. I'm kind of prepared, so.
And then who? Justin said you had Keenan at 8.
Yeah.
We're at 8.
Oh, I
I know you like.
Keenan.
I know you like Keenan, and I know
It
you like.
pained me to keep him off of my top 10.
I screwed myself last year. I liked Keenan, and I traded him at week 8, and then he went off again like he did the year before, and it screwed me over. But this year, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to draft him, and I'm going to keep him the whole year.
By the way, that was the trade for Michael Thomas. I also got Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. So I think I won that.
I had too much depth. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
You
our
had
waiver
too much
system was
depth.
fucked.
Yeah, we got to fix the waivers, but you know,
We did.
we'll get
No,
to that.
I love the Chargers as a team. I think no one ever talks about the Chargers, which is a crime. Like,
I don't know if that's true.
they have Melvin.
People
Gordon.
talk about the Chargers.
Really, not really.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how Phillip Rivers is terrible.
They're the Phillip Rivers is a saint, not the football team. Like the step below a deity.
He's got
It's
like
Phillip
20
Rivers.
kids. How does he concentrate?
Where's Bolo?
I think we know he's not. He has nothing else on his mind. He's
It's just football. It's
Just
football and
football.
making kids.
Football and kids.
We'll get into quarterbacks later, but wrapping back into our receivers.
Yeah, but the reason I don't like Keenan Allen as a top 5 guy because we all love him. We love the Chargers.
Yeah.
I really don't think there's
I'll
enough
hop on
touchdowns.
that Chargers bandwagon after I just pronounced. I love the
Fuck you.
Chargers.
But I'm smacked and I lost my train of thought now.
I'm kind of surprised I haven't heard Adam Thielen from any of you guys yet.
He's coming up.
He's not on mine.
Dang.
Wow, Jay, you love him too.
Yeah.
Well,
We love
he
him.
almost
I
won.
loved him, and then you loved him. Stop loving things that I love, Justin.
Oh, but sorry, Keenan Allen. He's not gonna be able to score enough touchdowns because like Mike Williams is an up and coming animal. I think he's gonna have 10+ touchdowns again.
He was
And
just
Hunter
waiting.
Henry's also gonna be a nice end zone threat, and I
If
think
he-
that's gonna.
If you can do anything.
Keenan's. I think it hurts his ceiling. That's why I don't have him as a top
Actually, I
5
don't.
guy like I did last year.
I
I think
think
he'll
people
still
don't
be
think about the Chargers. I've never thought about Hunter Henry like in my life.
Yeah, no, I
He's
definitely.
been irrelevant because one season he was playing behind Antonio Gates,
I always
and
see
then the
him.
next he tore his ACL in the offseason.
Yeah.
Or
I always see him
preseason.
as someone on Taylor's team, like someone that Taylor just has.
Yeah, which kind of ruins it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By
he's
the way,
not
Taylor
getting-
is easily the worst player in our league.
potentially being kicked.
Yeah, I really hope so. I love
we,
the kid. to
We were
pieces.
talking about this
I
before.
love the
Me and
kid.
Chris
If
were
you're
having a
listening to this,
conversation.
Taylor, I love you.
Yes.
But
But-
He's not gonna listen to
You
this.
got it.
Taylor's
Yeah.
gonna listen to a fantasy football podcast.
This is what we're saying.
Crazy. All
No,
right.
Walsh, give me that.
All right.
Walsh, we got 8 over there for you.
8 T.Y. Hilton.
Okay. I mean, I just don't think
That's what we like to hear, baby.
I don't
I'm
know.
high on the Colts this year.
He's
Hell
not-
yeah,
I
me
don't
too.
know.
Me
I'm
too, Gabe.
super high
Colts
on the
gang.
Colts. I
Colts
think
up.
they can go on a run.
I don't like Andrew Luck as much as I used to.
I think
Yeah.
Ty is
What
going
do
to be a
you
stud.
Oh, I can't. I'm
I
just
think
gonna
the
be-
only thing that wasn't there for T.Y. this year is he missed 2 games and he didn't have the touchdowns. But
He's
if
never going to have the touchdowns.
I don't know if he's never gonna have the touchdowns.
He's never had the touchdowns. He's never had more than 8, I don't think. And he usually has around like 5.
He has
or
6.
The,
Yeah, but he missed 2 games. So I'm kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt with those 2 games that he would perform at the level that he had been performing, which I think is fair to assume because he's very consistent.
He can easily lead the league in receiving.
Yes.
He did. The last, not last season, but the last season he played with Andrew Luck, he was the leader in receiving yards for the season.
Yeah.
So I mean, that we obviously see the ceiling there for him.
Yeah.
If he
That's
keeps the
2 years,
touchdowns up, like no, Andrew Luck was like hurt for 2 years. He was like,
Yeah.
this was like 3, maybe 4 years
2016,
ago, something like that.
16 or 17.
And we see that ceiling, so I mean, it's very possible that it could come back.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck, I think, is only going to get better from like coming back from the injury. Last season, at least the first 4 weeks when they went, I think they went 0-4. Like he was rusty. Like you saw the rust on him,
Yeah,
and like
for sure.
as the season progressed, like the rust came off. So I think this season he's just going to start out hotter, and the offense is going to play better. The whole team is going to play better this year.
I agree with that. I just don't think the touchdowns will be there. I think he can have a lot of reception yards, and he'll have 5 touchdowns. And
I don't think
be a good
Eric
fantasy
Ebron is going to show up like he did last year.
season. Yeah,
So I
now
think
they have
there's going to.
Funches. They got other weapons there.
I still think Ty is the top guy on that team.
I think he's the top guy. I don't think he's the top.
He's like Robbie Anderson. He's the
Red
deep
zone
threat, but
target.
like he's not the red zone target anymore. I don't think.
I don't think he ever was.
Yeah, he's not like a big guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a smaller dude.
He's always catching those ones that are just like.
It's the deep balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are the plays like he's like crazy explosive on. Like he gets those a lot. He makes explosive plays happen.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a Colts fan, so obviously I'm gonna hype him up.
Yeah.
Just putting that out
Biased.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very biased here.
So we're going to number 9 with Jay now.
Yeah, this is Amari Cooper at number 9. I really like the Cowboys' offense this year, and I think he'll definitely end up around 9. Whether you're happy that you had him the whole season is a different story, because I think he's going to be really up or down, like game to game. He's going to have 40 points in that.
Because
Points,
Dak
and
is
he'll have-
very up and down.
I think Amari Cooper is more the guy who's up and down than Dak.
Dude, get out of the clouds, man.
What are you
Come
talking
join
about?
us here on Earth.
Dak's been he's never been like an explosive like
Arm.
fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are you saying?
I'm saying that someone who's not an explosive fantasy quarterback is not necessarily going to produce an explosive fantasy wide receiver.
But Amari Cooper
Especially
has
when
all
their
of his
identity is the
career.
run game.
What?
Their identity is the run game.
Yeah, but even last year, Amari Cooper
He came to life.
Of
in the
course
second
he
half of the
can
season.
explode.
Yes,
Came to
I'm not
life.
saying he's going to be
and
bad.
he's gonna have 16
Okay.
games of that, and he's gonna have a couple games where he just absolutely goes off, and I think he'll wind up at 9.
I think he's
And
going
I
to
don't
be the
think you'll
Saints.
be.
I don't think it's
you had him.
Remember when
very
the
far out of the realm of
Saints?
possibility, but I just don't have faith in that passing attack.
I'm gonna compare this season's Amari Cooper to the previous season's Saints, Brandon Cooks, and then when Brandon Cooks was on the Patriots. You always flipped a coin whether he was gonna go off for like 20 points or he was
He's
gonna
the
get
same
5.
thing. Yeah, he could be hot or cold.
It's gonna be a flip of the coin, I
Yeah.
think, all season. I don't know if I feel comfortable placing him in my top 10 for wide receivers because of that.
I mean, I don't.
I think
I
they're
really don't want him that badly, but I think he's gonna finish there. That's why I have him here.
I could see it happening. Like, it's not ridiculous to say that.
from the aspect of drafting him as like the 8th or
Where did
9th
he finish
overall
last
wide receiver.
Stat guy. What do you think? last year?
Look,
Yeah, give me some Amari Cooper stats, my guy.
Amari Cooper
I don't like it.
finished 19th out of wide receivers in half-point PPR.
That's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
But he blew up in like the last 4
Yeah,
years.
he
that's
got
probably-
traded mid-season.
Yeah, he was on the Raiders for like.
Yeah, you
And the
can't.
Raiders are
You can't judge that.
Second
We're not
is
ESPN.
out.
We don't got the stats for like the last 4 weeks of wide receivers.
Yeah.
He did have 1,005 receiving yards,
Low budget over here, but
7 touchdowns.
Exactly. We're working on it.
Walsh, who was your number 9 over there?
I will tell you when I look at it. And I have Antonio Brown.
okay. He's not.
I think they're just gonna throw to him a lot.
You
Yes.
hate the Raiders.
I hate the Raiders. I hate John Gruden. I hate Silver. But I think John Gruden is just in love with Antonio Brown,
Mhm.
and he's just gonna emphasize to Derek Carr that if you see Antonio, throw to Antonio, and he's very good. So
Yeah,
I think
he's amazing.
he can put up the numbers. But that's why I have him at 9, because he's definitely not going to put up A/B numbers that you would normally see
Yeah, 100%.
when he's with the Steelers. But I think he's going to get a good amount of touchdowns.
I think he'll get the touchdowns, but I think it'll be a very similar season to last year. Probably maybe a little dialed down because obviously Derek Carr is not nearly as good as Big Ben.
Mhm.
Big Ben and AB's chemistry on the field was just amazing, amazing. He'll never find a connection like that again. I don't think.
But AB was number 2 last year in half-point PPR.
Yeah, because you got like touchdowns. So I'm saying like a little dialed down. So I think it's fair to have him at 9 or 10. But personally, drafting, unless you can get like a crazy steal on him, I don't think I'll draft him next year.
I don't know.
Personally,
Yeah, because someone's gonna reach for him.
someone's
think he has the
gonna
upside.
bank on that upside
Yeah.
and draft him earlier than I would like to.
Yeah, I'm
so
not gonna do that guy.
I'll probably pass on him.
Yeah, I'm more into like high floor guys than high ceiling guys.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
agree with that. I'm usually more high ceiling.
So you are a boomer bust player.
I guess, yeah. Losses or championships. That's all I do.
So where are we at here? We're at number
10.
10.
Yeah, I have
Jay.
T.Y. Hilton at 10. We talked about him before. Yeah.
I have Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen
There it
is
is.
the love of my life.
Fuck Kirk Cousins. There it is.
Kirk Cousins is hot garbage.
Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen out of my top 10.
Once per show guaranteed. Fuck Kirk Cousins.
That's
But
trash.
I promise to the
But-
listeners.
Thielen went on the first 8 games of the season. He just went on a run of pure beauty in the wide receiver position
Oh, it's incredible. He had over 100 yards and a touchdown in
in like 7 or 8
or a
games
touchdown.
in a row,
Yeah.
and he is their red
NFL
zone
record.
threat. Like he just is. I know, Garrett. Look at me. I know Kirk Cousins is a dumpster fire, but I believe in Adam Thielen.
I
And
don't.
It is
I
for
think
that reason
They
why I
have to
put
get
him at
rid of
number
Kirk
10.
Cousins, and then that team is doing a lot better off.
I agree with
because
that.
they have talent at other positions, but Kirk Cousins is ruining their franchise.
But
I
Adam
don't think it
Thielen-
was Kirk Cousins' fault last year.
Oh my god.
Kirk Cousins is the worst
Their
quarterback.
defense didn't play
fucking
to its
understand.
potential. Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray. Dalvin Cook was
Do they have another running
nursing that
back?
ACL
Do they have
injury,
another
so-
running back this year or no? Is it just
hamstring
Dalvin?
or whatever.
Did they sign
I think
somebody?
they
No,
somebody. Oh, no.
he was coming off an ACL reconstruction surgery too. So it was the ACL and the hamstring last year. It was a mess.
I think
Well,
he came
the
into the
ACL
season
wasn't-
worried about the ACL,
Yeah.
and then he tore his pulled his hamstring.
And then the hamstring was an issue because I had both
and he was,
hamstring issues with Fournette and Dalvin.
but because of that,
That
like,
worries me more than just coming off the ACL. That's
he
what I'm
wasn't
saying.
just nursing the hamstring. It was also the ACL that was in the back of his mind because he never had full time to heal from it.
That's
and he just
something.
got hurt again.
That's someone we didn't talk about in running backs. Leonard Fournette. I'm pissed we didn't talk about him, but we'll talk
He's
about him
not-
later. We'll,
I mean, I think he's
another time.
well. Yeah, I'm looking. The Vikings have Mike Boone.
Nope. So it's just Dalvin Cook over there in the Vikings.
Yeah.
It's gonna be his work
Yeah.
worse again, just like his rookie season. Before
But if he
tore
gets
his
hurt, they're
ACL.
gonna be fucked.
Well, back to how
Yeah.
that affects Adam Thielen, I think they shifted their offense midseason to be a running offense, and I think that's what screwed Adam Thielen, and that's why I don't have him in my top 10.
I think it's gonna be a lot more run heavy again this year. So
I do too.
I
I think
I
they,
agree
They
with
want
that.
to minimize the turnovers, and then the only way to do that is to not have Kirk Cousins throw the ball.
Correct. Exactly.
Or
Just
just a
get him
5-yard
off the
pass to
team,
Adam Thielen.
or just don't start him. Did you say your number 10 yet? Or we
That
were-
was Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen.
Yeah,
So that's it over there. All right, guys. That was a good talk so far. We got our running backs and wide receivers right here. I think we'll cut it here, and then we'll get back to you with some quarterback tight end ranking, right?
Yep.
All right. So
See you guys on the next one.
peace out.
Bye.